Hey, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Fundraising BIDness Talk. I'm Patrick Cyber, lead auctioneer and owner of G Events LLC, based here in Beaverton, Oregon, where we're experiencing a little overcast today. No rain, haven't had any drizzle yet, but it's the first time in a long time that we've done the program without bright sunshine coming through the windows. So we're excited. It means fall's coming. It also means it's football season. Go Ducks. And we're having lots of fun. It's fall fundraising season. So as we get started, folks, hey, thanks for tuning in. Be sure to say hello. Let us know where you're tuning in from. And we'd love to say hello back. And as always, encourage you, if you get a question comes up, you have a thought you'd like to get our opinion or thoughts on, please, whether it's on subject today or not, it doesn't matter. Drop it in the comment box. We'll see it on our screen, and we will be happy to answer any questions that you may have. And so as we get started today, I want to talk about something that I'm seeing coming up more and more as we get into the fall season, and as folks are coming back into gathering events and doing our fundraising events. And I think there's a lot of factors that are influencing our return to gathering events, whether it's expenses and the economy, uh, the overall cost of producing an in-person event compared to what we saw when we were doing virtual events. Also, a lot of question marks as to whether folks are coming back to in-person events. It's interesting. I hear it frequently from clients that they start off with some optimistic goals, and as far as attendance is concerned, and then they find out that not as many people want to come back together. And I think initially we thought it was COVID, that people weren't feeling safe in a crowd. I have to tell you, as I talk to folks out there, I keep coming up with the same answer. It's like, hey, I don't really want to spend my Saturday night for 4 hours in a large group. I'd rather support my favorite cause with a donation or a bid online. But the idea of coming together on a Saturday night and having a banquet type meal is just not on the list. And so I think people are a little more selfish with their time, and so I think that um, it is crucial to make sure that your event's entertaining and folks are having a good time, and that it's more than the traditional fundraising event for them. And at the same time, provide plenty of opportunity for people to support your nonprofit, whether it be in an online auction or online donations, raffles, things that can be executed depending on what state uh, you are in and raffle laws. But the online auction and other features of a fundraising event today can be executed online and can be executed with a 24/7 window for, let's say, a week. There's lots of opportunities, but today I want to talk about coming together and wrapping our head around as we come back into, we're committed as a nonprofit, let's say, that has made the commitment that, hey, we're going to get together, we're going to host a big party and a big get together. And I want to touch base a little bit about strategy in getting people into the room. And so the first thing that I see most people doing are selling tickets, right? And in most cases, if your format is going to include like a plated meal or a buffet, you're going to have a primary meal event. Then you're going to be selling seats and tickets, and you're going to have those people seated at tables. And I'm going to tell you right away that as you're starting to sell tickets, I want you to think about selling tables first. And there's some real reasons for that, folks. This isn't um, just a pie in the sky concept. There's some logic behind it. There's some reasons behind it, but we want to sell tables first, and not almost, but to the fact that we hope to sell the event out by selling tables and not even having individual tickets available. Individual tickets are a last resort if we're You know, I encourage groups all the time. Let's focus on table sales. Let's not make individual tickets available, not committing to making them available. Let's focus on those tables. And the first and foremost thing that comes to my mind is that many of these events are run by committees of volunteers, and I think that sometimes the ticket sales can be a kind of a challenging task, right? And when I think about tables versus tickets or seats, the first thing that comes to my mind is it easier to sell 200 seats or 25 tables? And I think everybody would agree that selling 25 tables seems like a much more obtainable goal. And if they're tables of eights, it's the same total number of attendees. But if we think that we only have 25 to sell, that we only need 25 yeses, that's a lot easier than getting 200 yeses. Or even if you're coupled up, folks are coming in pairs. That's 100 yeses versus 25 yeses for tables. And so, um, I think it's really important to focus on those table sales. When you only have 25 tables to sell, this creates urgency in your audience, and it creates urgency for the buyers. That I think in most organizations, when you think about your audience, they've been to the event, they've seen all the people at the event in the past, and they didn't count tables. They just saw lots of people, right? And when you tell them we only have 25 tables to sell, um, or available to our audience that night before we're sold out, I think that most people think, wow, 25 tables isn't very many. I better get my ticket. So I think it definitely creates urgency. And I would encourage you, folks, I'm going to really encourage you to keep kind of sharing with folks how many tables you have left, right? If this is a school event, if this is a small community nonprofit event where everybody kind of knows everybody in the audience, I push really hard as you're encouraging folks to commit to attending your in-person event, that you share with them, hey, we only have 25 tables this year, right? We only have 20 tables left. We only have 10 tables left. Whatever that number is, I think sharing it out there shows that other people are supporting your event, other people are going, people will want to attend events where they know folks, obviously, and get to know your community, and share time with your community, socialize with your community. And so I always encourage, as you're posting that Facebook ad or you're sending out that email promoting your table sales, make sure that you encourage and share with folks that you only have X number of tables left. And, you can take that even a step further if you're using a software like Octria. As we always, yeah, I don't know if I've ever done a show without mentioning Octria, but if you're using uh, fundraising auction software like Octria to manage your event, and you have your tables available for sale on the software, which we always encourage, uh, is that you can set an inventory number so that when people go to purchase a table, or they go to review what's available in the table and all the benefits of owning a table, they will see right there how many are left. And so I think that's incredibly powerful. So don't be shy, and definitely tell folks when how many tables you have left, because I think that it definitely motivates people to purchase tables. And at the end of the day, people want to sit with their friends, right? And if you encourage your attendees to come together, they don't. I'm not saying that one person has to buy the table, and I think that that's a real misnomer. I think that what we want here is we want people to build a table, and how they pay for it is, quite honestly, is uh, not our concern. We don't have to promote that one person buy the table. We can spread those costs out. um, it's easy to split the cost of a table in the software. You can sell a table and then break up the cost of it if you want, all sorts of different ways. So, I'm not saying that one person has to buy the table. What I am saying is that friends want to sit with friends, have them come together, purchase a table together. If you don't, if you have someone that's willing to, singularly buy that table as a business or as an individual family or whatever it is, that's great. But people want to sit with friends. And when you start selling individual tickets, it becomes a lot more challenging. I mean, individuals in general are challenging for your committee, for your volunteer committee, because now you've got to put somebody in charge of assigning seating and designating which tables are where. And it creates a lot of communication back and forth. And there's some wonderful tools in the software, ticket statements and e-tickets and managing tables and things of that nature. But it takes time, and it takes people executing those things and exposing folks to maybe inadvertently setting two people together that don't get along, or setting two people together that just don't hit it off. And we know people bid more when they're with their friends and they're having a good time. So let's sell tables. Now, individuals are definitely more work for your committee. I will tell you that I hear it pretty consistently, that especially in the school environment, I hear it regularly, is that, hey, we've got some new families. Maybe they don't know anybody yet. They don't feel comfortable jumping in. They don't know who to invite to be at a table or ask to be at a table. Well, that's okay. I think your committee can start create a list of folks that are interested in filling individual seats. Whether it be filling empty seats at a table, or we're putting together a group of folks at a table. I think that that's totally fine. In some cases, people are. I hear that pretty regularly. That, hey, we've got they're new to the school, or they're new to this program, and they don't know anybody. But I would present that. I doubt that many of those people are buying tickets and hoping to come to the event and meet people. I think it's more of the committee, the group should reach out to them and encourage them and invite them to attend, and put them together if you want. But, stick with your guns on selling your tables. Um, because that will overall help your event tremendously. As I mentioned, people are more supportive of your organization when they're sitting with friends. You get a little bit of that puffy chest syndrome. You get all sorts of things going on. They're having a good time. They're enjoying themselves. They egg each other on in bidding. It's just it's great to have people sitting with friends. I just can't. I can tell the groups when on the stage and I'm watching the room, as we're selling or as we're raising money through the paddle raise or the fund to need. We can definitely tell those tables who are having more fun than others. And I'm not saying who are the drunkest. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you can just see those tables, and they tend to bid in clusters, and it's just you can tell they're having more fun when they are sitting with friends. And so, always going to encourage you to do that. And one of the mistakes that I see quite frequently is what people do with their table prices. They charge more for a table than they do individual tickets, and I'm gonna tell you to reverse that. Um, I'm gonna tell you to take a total different approach to that, and I'm gonna encourage you to calculate your table price first, and then upcharge individuals. If you decide, when you look at the cost of producing the event, and you add it all up, and you divide that by the number of attendees or the number of tables that you have a capacity for, I'm going to encourage you, instead of doing it by people, do it by the tables that you have to sell, and cover your cost. And that's your table cost, right? That's the table cost. And then what I would do from there is then price your individual tickets, if you're going to even sell any. Okay. So if we decide that when we add up all the budgeted expenses for the event, and we find out that we divide it by our 25 tables, whatever your number is, and that we need to sell tables for $1,000 a piece, and they're tables of 8, well, that's 125 a person at that table. What I would do is I would turn around, and if we do go to individual ticket sales, I'd probably charge 150 a person, right? And so that all of a sudden incentivizes people um, to group themselves together, because they want to look at it and say, hey, if we all come together, we can save a little bit money by buying a table, and we're sitting with our friends, and we're going to have a great time. And we, as the organizers, know that they're going to be more generous and support your nonprofit cause a lot more if they're enjoying themselves and having a good time. So, like I said, be sure to price your tables, to incentivize, calculate your table prices first, and then upcharge or add an additional charge for anybody that you end up deciding that you're going to have individual ticket sales for, right? Um, and then, like I said, earlier, I encourage you to continue. Make it available, make it easy for people if they want to. If somebody puts together, uh, gathers up folks to be at a table, and they want to spread the cost of that table amongst the guests there, that's okay. That's absolutely all right. Your neighborhood families, whatever it is, you play sports with, whatever it is at your school, or a group of people that hang together within the civic club, whatever it is. Make sure that you're capable of splitting the cost up, and splitting up a table cost individually is no big deal in most softwares. Just make sure you know how to do it in advance, and then you can take care of it that way. So the number one goal is focus on those tables, folks. I can't tell you what's easier. 200 seats. Do I want to get 200 yeses, or do I want to get 25 yeses? And 25 yeses is a lot easier than 200 individual yeses, right? And in today's environment, I keep hearing from all the committees I keep meeting with as we prepare for their fall events and are doing their fall events, and even spring events. I've been working with a lot of our clients on spring events already. And I hear consistently, we just don't have the volunteers that we once had, right? And so if they don't have the volunteers, who's going to sell those tickets, and who's going to manage those table assignments, right? So make it easier on yourself, folks. Sell tables first, and don't start with selling individual tickets, because that's you're creating more work than you need to have. So. That's kind of what I had for today. I do want to open it up. If there's any questions, feel free. Drop them in the comment box. I'd love to answer any questions you might have on this subject, and say hello. And even if it's not on this subject, feel free. If there's a question you think I might have an answer to with respect for fundraising, BIDness, fundraising auctions, nonprofit beneficiary type situations, or fundraising golf tournaments, please feel free. Fire up the questions in the comment box, and I'll be happy to answer them. You can also, if you would prefer, go to geventsllc.com is our website, and there's a Calendly link, and you can schedule a one-on-one consultation. There's no cost associated with that. Feel free to schedule a one-on-one. We can do a Zoom, or if you're here in the Portland metro area, get together in person, whatever's best for you. And let's chat about your event and see if there's an opportunity that possibly we could help you. And then lastly, always want to remind you, fundraising BIDness talk is every Wednesday at noon right here on your favorite social media platform. Just follow G Events LLC on Facebook and LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitch, whatever it may be. We're even on Twitter nowadays. Feel free to tune in and catch the program. And if you've missed this episode, don't hesitate. Go to fundraisingbidnesstalk.com, where you can catch all 73 episodes. And I'm always amazing myself as I'm uploading this week's version or episode to our Vimeo channel. I look at some of the programs we've done over the last couple of years through COVID, And I'm amazed at how relevant the topics are and how helpful they could be for someone. So feel free to go to fundraisingbidnesstalk.com. And then lastly, I want to promote next week. We're excited. We have a special guest coming on to join us. She is a planner, owner extraordinaire with our friends over at Gray Gables Estates in Milwaukee, Oregon. We're a huge fan of Gray Gables Estate. We've been involved in several events there over the last, I don't know, probably 7 or 8 years, and have always been overly impressed with the staff, the facilities, and everything they do there. And I recently did an event for our friends at NAMI Clackamas at Gray Gables and got to talking to Jen there. And she was sharing with me some of the exciting things that are going to be happening at Gray Gables this fall and moving forward, in addition to being an incredible venue to host your event. They're going to be doing some different fun things. And so I asked her to join me on the program and talk to me a little bit about what's going on at Gray Gables, but also give us some insight from her side of the BIDness when it comes to being a venue and also a caterer, and being able to give us some insight that we can share with our friends out there in the fundraising BIDness business. So it will be a lot of fun, and hope you'll join us. That's next Wednesday on the 12th. That'll be episode 74. We'll be talking to Gray Gables. So, hey, folks, as always, I always remind you, does not matter where you start the bidding. It's all about where you finish. Encourage you to bid high and bid often, support your favorite nonprofit, and let us know if we can ever be of assistance to you. I'm Patrick Cyber. Until next time, have a great day. See ya.